And we got innocent children falling victims to our disobedience. Babies, children, I'm talking, that hadn't even had a chance, hadn't even had an opportunity at life because we too stuck on ourselves. The church done got conceited. The church done got stuck up. Can't tell you nothing. It's all about you. God says when you take matters into your own hand. Look what he says. He says, but if you, verse 19, he's making it personal. He said, you, who is he talking to? He's talking about you people, you, my people. The ones that you call by my name. You, the ones that say you saved. The one that you call yourself offering me up praise, but I can't accept it. I can't receive it. Because whether we understand this and know or not, praise is preceded by prayer. Your praise and your worship ain't nothing if you ain't prayed. You read the text and you study the text before they could come in the house. The Bible said they fell on their faces on the pavement. Before they hit. Did you hear that? Even the priests couldn't even come in the house because the glory of the Lord was so great. And the people, before they could come in, knew that the glory of God was in the house so great, they fell on their faces on the pavement before they come in. God didn't play when it came down to worship in his house. A part of me was lost this week. And people are saying, what's going on? Why all the killing? Something is wrong with us if we got to question what's happening in the land. He says, watch this. He says, then will I pluck Israel up by the roots out of my land, which I have given them. And this house, which I have hallowed for my name. Watch this now. Will I cast out of my sight and will make it to be a proverb. Y'all didn't hear what I'm saying. That we have called ourselves dedicated, Minister Vickers, to the Lord. God said we in so much trouble until he'll take what we've dedicated to him and pluck it out, cast it out, and it will be merely a proverb. Merely that used to be a memory. He says, and a byword among all nations. And this house, which was so high, shall be an astonishment to everyone passing it. And they will say, why has the Lord done thus to this land and to this house? And look at verse 22. This is what got me. This is really what got me. Then the men will say, because they forsook the Lord, the God of their fathers who brought them out of Egypt, and they laid hold on other gods and worshiped and served them. Therefore has he brought all this evil up on them. It's a sad case that the church as we know it today is ineffective when it comes down to what's going on around us. It ain't just in the world. It's in our neighborhoods. It's in our city. It's in our state. It's even in our homes. And to make it more personal, it's on the inside of us. It's time to have a revival of prayer. It's time for our conferences to be consumed with prayer. It's time for our lifestyle to be consumed with prayer. We need to breathe prayer. We need to move and walk in the prayer. It's only the effectual fervent prayer. The Bible says that men should always pray and not faint. When you pray, you can hold your head up. When you pray, you know that God is going to answer your prayer. When you pray, you know that things can't stay the same, because prayer is the most powerful tool that God has given us. When you mix prayer and faith together, you can move mountains. Sickness can't stay in your body when you pray, because the effectual fervent prayer, it's in the Bible. Avail it much. It accomplishes, it gets stuff done. If things ain't going right, pray. And the kind of prayer that God is talking about, you pray until I move for you. You don't stop. You know, who told you to stop? Pray without ceasing. Pray at all times. Pray until it rains. Pray until your bank account change. Pray until you get a job. Pray until you get transportation. Pray until God send you what you need. You don't ever stop praying. It ain't up to the government. It ain't up to your job. It ain't up to the school system. God said, if my people, it ain't up to the land. If my people. I can't get away. I can't get away from this, because he said, watch this now. Because see, this is what messed me up. See, look at your neighbor and say, it ain't the devil. Tell him again. It ain't the devil. No, y'all you need to tell somebody else. It ain't the devil. God said in verse 13, he said, if I shut up heaven. The devil ain't shut heaven up. Devil can't stop heaven. But God said, if I shut up heaven so that no rain falls, or if I command the locusts, the devil ain't sending the locusts to eat up your stuff. There it is in verse 13. God said, if I command locusts to devour the land, or if I send pestilence among my people. What is the pestilence? It ain't no good thing. God said, if I do it, he said, all my people got to do is humble themselves. That means we got too many folk who done exalted themselves above measure. And we trying to figure out why we got all these thorns that God won't move. Because he's trying to bring you back down to the level you're supposed to be on, so you will stay in his face. Because see, there's parts to God that we've never known before. There's a place in God that we've never been before. And God says, if you will come face to face with me, I'll show you what you've never seen. I'll give you what you never had. But you got to stay in my face. You can't exalt yourself above God. And that's what the church has done. We've exalted ourselves above he that can't be measured. So he says, if my people will humble themselves and pray, then he takes it to another level. Seek my face. It's threefold. Turn from your wicked. It ain't the word. He talking to the Son of Man. Turn from your wicked ways. Y'all didn't hear me. No. If my people will humble themselves, pray, seek my face, turn from their wicked ways, he says, then I'm going to hear from heaven. So, because see, heaven's shut up right now. But he said, if you'll do those things, I hear from heaven. And what's going to happen? Then he said, I will heal the land and forgive their sin. But God said his people has got to do it first. But we want to blame the man that's doing all the killing and committing suicide. It ain't his fault. Where the church? Turn the heat off. Turn the heat off, please. Then he says, watch this. God says, I like this in verse 15. I'm about through. Watch this. He says, you can't fool me. You can't fake me off. He says, for watch this, my eyes will be open. So watch this here. My eyes, I'm in 15, verse 15. My eyes will be open and my ears attentive to prayer offered. He listening, but we ain't saying nothing. Because watch this, he only hear the right prayer. Because see, sometimes you can pray in a self-righteous way. God ain't hearing that. That's why he said, if my people, which are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray. We're praying too much in an exalted state. Too much in a self-righteous state. Lord, I thank you that I'm not like the other. God don't want to hear that. Y'all ain't hear what I'm saying. God wants you to humble yourself because you just like the other, you just ain't performed what they did. But in your heart and in your mind, you still ain't right. Because if you knew that you could get away with some stuff, you'd be, how many folk you done killed? How many folk you done stabbed in the back? How many people have you cussed out? How many folk? Saint? God said, I'd rather you be hot or cold. The Son of Man in better state than you who are lukewarm. Let me finish. I'm done. He says, for I have chosen and sanctified, set apart for holy use this house, that my name shall be there forever. But why we got Ichabod on our doors? It ain't glory that's filling the house. Everybody look at your name and say, I thank God he ain't talking about my house. We can't confuse the glory of God with our own light. Because if it was the glory of God, it would lead men into the right direction. But false light, you still can't see your way. How much more has to take place before we, the church, get in proper apostolic alignment with God? Total alignment with God. To the point where he said, if you take care of my house, your house will be taken care of successfully. God said, my word ain't changed. He told Solomon, he said, if you walk in my statutes and keep my ways and walk before me as your dad did, your throne I will establish it. God said, I will establish it. Did you know that if we do right, God will establish us forever? God said he'll do it. He'll make your name great. That means you ain't got to do nothing. Favor follows you. Watch this. Favor follows the order of God. You got to make nothing happen. But what chance does those innocent children have? A lot of blood. Innocent blood. Watch this. Can we truly say that the church is responsible for all the evil that's going on in the land today? Help me, somebody. Help me. Help me. I don't know everything. I'm not the smartest man in the world. But God said, if my people which are called by my name. That's the church. They humble themselves and pray, seek my face, turn from their wicked ways. He said, I hear from heaven. Heal the land. Heal the land. And forgive their sin. If my people. So are we, God's people, responsible for what's going on in the land? Nowhere in the word does God say the Son of Man has to get right in order for the land to be healed. I've studied